This is the Osmo Pocket 3, and if you haven't heard about this yet, I'm a little surprised because this has been all over the internet for a few years now. It actually packs a surprising amount of power for something that just fits right in your pocket. But the real question is it good enough? Does it live up to the hype? Are the specs strong enough for people that want to create content daily? And that's honestly what we're going to be talking about right here. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Mitch. I'm a content creator and photographer. I shoot a lot of travel content and social media content. So I'm looking at this camera as someone that wants something lightweight to carry around day to day, to see if it's not just portable, but it has great quality as well. For me, this is something I've been using while I do travel vlogs. What comes in the box? Inside the box as well, you'll find the protective case for the Osmo, some USB-C cables, and little manuals. But now, when it comes to the actual feel of the camera, it actually surprised me. On camera, it's kind of hard to show, but it feels really premium. It doesn't just feel like a piece of plastic and a hunk of junk. The materials of it actually feel quite solid. The gimbal feels smooth, and everything about it just feels really well built. One of my favorite things about this though is it's a 2-inch display screen, and it actually rotates. So it depends what you shoot. If you're shooting YouTube videos or you're shooting Instagram Reels, you can honestly switch back and forth between what perspective you're shooting on just by flipping the screen back and forth. But the most important thing is the 3-axis gimbal, because the stabilization in this is just amazing. It's incredibly smooth if you're walking or if you're running, even if you're probably on a roller coaster, but I haven't tested that one. You don't get the shaky handheld footage if you were using just a regular DSLR or mirrorless. Some of the other things that actually really impressed me with this is the screen quality. Not just the fact that you can switch back and forth from landscape to portrait really quickly, but honestly the screen brightness and just the built-in audio to it. When you're doing vlogs, you're probably out during the day, and sometimes when you're trying to see the screen, it's just so hard because of the reflection of the sun. But honestly, you can see this screen pretty much if it's day or night. And like I mentioned, the built-in audio. I originally was using just the audio from this when I was making vlogs without the Mic Mini 2. And the audio is almost comparable to the audio you're hearing now. Because you're not planning on getting the most perfect audio, because this is just a quick camera to use if you're just doing a vlog or making quick cinematic videos. So for what they have in here, it does a really good job. Alright, so what's next is talking about the specs and the performance of the Osmo. The 1-inch sensor it has makes the image quality mind-blowing just for the size of this. It's honestly a really big deal for something just this small, and it's very good in low light situations. You can shoot up to 4K at 120 frames per second, which gives you the ability to have slow-mo footage at 4K. Which makes the footage coming out of this camera really clean and really sharp. But one of the first things I noticed, especially when doing vlogs, is the tracking system. You could almost do a 360 all the way around this camera and it will focus on your face and track you wherever you're walking. So for vloggers and solo content creators, this camera is a game changer. When it comes to the storage on the Osmo, all it takes is a micro SD card, and you could use any SD card size that you want. Something that's overlooked a lot is the micro SD card. You want to make sure the card you're using is actually quite good and has fast speeds. Because if you're filming 4K at 120, you want it to be able to have a good writing speed. But that's for a different video. Let's talk about the battery life. The battery life on this camera is insane for the size again. You can roughly get about 2 hours of filming on here, depending on your settings. And it actually charges really fast. One thing I would highly recommend getting is this battery extender. Not only does it just clip into the bottom, you can actually use it as a mount still, and it almost doubles your battery life. One good thing as well about having this battery extension is you can actually now hold this camera nicely instead of using just this tiny little, like there is almost nowhere to grip on this. So having this attached comes in handy quite well. Let's talk about how it's actually like using the camera though. The biggest ability this camera has is its size and how easy it is to carry around. You could literally pull this out of your pocket and start recording in seconds. And honestly, for travel content creators and daily vloggers, this is 100% a game changer. I've been using this on chest mounts when I go out and do some POV photography, for vlogs, all these different capabilities it has. It's almost like having a tiny professional gimbal that fits in your pocket. Now, who is this camera actually for? If you're looking for a camera to replace your professional cinematography cameras, this is probably not it. You're probably going to still get a little bit more flexibility with a mirrorless camera. But if you're looking for something small, portable, comfortable, and easy to use, the Osmo Pocket 3 is hands down the camera you're looking for. It's perfect for travel creators, vloggers, social media content creators, quick B-roll, and honestly, everyday filming. My final thoughts, overall, I'm really impressed with this camera. It's probably one of my favorite things I have in my camera bag at all times. The image quality is great. The stabilization is amazing. Overall, this camera is probably perfect. I know the Osmo Pocket 4 is coming out soon. I don't actually know too many of the specs on that, but really, this camera is insane. Why would it need an upgrade? What could they possibly do to upgrade this camera? It's not meant to replace your full setup, it's just meant to help. So as a secondary camera to your main camera, 100% I would grab this. Even if you don't have a main camera and this will be your main camera, I still would 100% recommend getting this because you're going to have the time of your life filming content on this. Those are my thoughts on the Osmo Pocket 3, and if you have any questions at all, make sure to comment them down below and I would gladly answer them. If you enjoyed this video as well, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel where I do a lot of travel content and photography gear and all this type of stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.